Welcome to the historic Rubicon Trail. I'm Ken Hauer of the Rubicon Trail Foundation, and this series is called The History of the Trail and How Did That Spot Get Its Name? Because some are obvious like V-notch and some are not so obvious like whale bones. So let's get out there and let's get started. Hey, this is Ken Hauer from the Rubicon Trail Foundation. So this is a first. I'm here alone today. There's no John Arns. There's no color guy. It's just me. But I'm here at the bottom of Ambulance Hill. That was episode 4 of our series, History of the Rubicon and How Did It Get Its Name. And this is the start of Ambulance Hill. But when we interviewed Steve Drooff, if you recall, he thought the ambulance was over here. However, just a week or so ago, a production company aired a video from July, the Jeepers Jamboree of July of 1964. We don't know the circumstances of the production, but they recently posted it to YouTube, and lo and behold, in the episode, they mention the World War II Dodge ambulance that was
an abandoned World War II four-wheel drive ambulance
that was parked here at the bottom of Ambulance Hill for years, and it was here, not over there. So this is where people would pass it. So by 1964, it was still there. And as you recall in the episode that we're going to go into at the end, if you saw the first one, my dad remembered, seeing the ambulance. He knew it was a Dodge. He knew it was from World War II, so we got all that right. But what he also didn't know was, when did it actually disappear? So in 1964, we know it was here. And it was being, as my dad said, every time he went past, there was less parts on it as it was getting picked clean. And then, as Steve said, one year he was here and it was gone. So it was probably taken out of here, probably in the 1965 to 1968, 69 range, somewhere in those years. But anyway, so this is episode 4, part 2, or part 2 redo of the Ambulance Hill episode. So I will interject from that scene in the old video, the new shot that shows that it's there. So I hope you enjoy. So let's go check out that episode.
Hello everybody, I'm John Arns with Rubicon Trail Foundation. We're here in the Rubicon today, and I have a special guest today. This is Steve. Say hi, Steve.
How are you doing?
Good. So we're here at a place that most people don't know about. What's your name for this spot, Steve?
Ambulance Hill.
Ambulance Hill. And in the context of the Rubicon, it's kind of at the approach to the post pile below post pile.
Below Frenchman's Ravine.
Below Frenchman's Ravine. So you're going to have to tell us about that too. But I have been in the Rubicon for a long time, and you told me last summer in a conversation about Ambulance Hill, and I was blown away. Let's hear it. What's Ambulance Hill?
Ambulance Hill is this hill going up to post pile. In the old days, like in the 60s, and I don't know when the thing first appeared, but when I was here in 65 or 66, it was here.
Uh-huh.
It was an ambulance stuck here, kind of broken down.
An abandoned World War II four-wheel drive ambulance is a rusting reminder that sometime in the past, someone figured that in this particular country, it was easier to walk than to drive.
It was rusted out already. Kind of an old style, boxy looking thing.
Mm-hmm.
Had been there for a long time, and everybody just called it Ambulance Hill because of that ambulance sitting there.
I'll be darned. And how long was it there?
I don't know.
You don't know. It just disappeared and you forgot.
Well, 1 year it was gone.
Right.
So I don't know who took it away or how it got out of here. The Forest Service occasionally pulls stuff out, It's possible.
Mhm.
I don't know how it got here in the first place either.
Super interesting. Ambulance Hill.
Right.
Thanks for visiting us here today on Ambulance Hill.
Right. It was a lot of fun at the time.
So let's talk about your history with the Rubicon Trail. How long have you been? You said in the 60s. What was your first, when did you first remember being here? And what was the context? Why were you here?
So the first time I came up here was either 65 or 66. And I can't remember exactly which. It was before I was heading off to Europe to play basketball. And I came up to visit a buddy of mine who came up here with his family and his parents in the 30s and 20s. And
who was that?
Brian Swift.
Brian Swift. Okay.
And the Roses.
And the Roses.
So there are co-owners in Wentworth.
I remember seeing discussions of Babe Rose and Charlie Rose in historical documents about the Rubicon.
Babe and Betty were the two, and they had their daughters who are still around and still come up here.
Right.
And so I came in my 1954 Merc.
Okay.
That I had brought from Boston. Bought it for $1, and it made it out here. And I somehow made a wrong turn and went down towards the Rubicon. And I went between two trees that were slightly narrower than the Merc. And it got stuck down there. And so a bunch of hunters brought me back up to here, to camp. And we went down and rescued it, brought it back. It was a lot of fun. I've been coming here every year since. And just enjoy the property and enjoy the trail. Used to have Land Rovers that I would drive up here. And
eventually you ended up owning Wentworth Springs, is that correct?
That's right. We bought it in '83.
Okay.
And from Orrin Ellingson. He's a dairy farmer out of Auburn. And he really liked Betty. And we always talked to him about buying it from him. And he eventually decided, he was in his 80s, and he eventually decided he was going to sell it. And there were a bunch of people he didn't want to sell it to. And I shouldn't go through the names of them, but he didn't want to sell it to the Baptists. He didn't want to sell it to the Japanese. And he didn't want to sell it to the Jeepers.
Okay.
So he sold it to us, which was really nice. He carried the loan, and we ended up paying him off before it was due. And then we just try to maintain the property in its almost primitive state. Except
So you said something about Frenchman's Gulch.
Frenchman's Ravine.
Frenchman's Ravine. Tell me about Frenchman's Ravine.
Well, it's that nasty spot up there by the salt.
By what people call the post pile.
The post pile.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get up. And I don't know. I've only been up it once or twice, and not in these vehicles. Went up in the Land Rover, in the '62 Land Rover, made it up. And it was a 109. It was a nice vehicle. But anyway, how it got its name. So, they run the Jeeper Jamboree through here. And as they did then, they don't so much anymore.
They haven't since '82, I believe.
Yeah, it's been a while. And the kids would come up and watch them. They'd sit up there. And one year they were there, and there were a bunch of people from France coming up and breaking their vehicles on that hill, on that little section there.
Sure.
And so they named it Frenchman's Ravine.
So to you and your family, it's been Frenchman's Ravine ever since.
That's right.
But to everybody, this was Ambulance Hill.
Well, at least the people who knew about the ambulance. But I think the name Ambulance Hill was pretty well known. It's hard for me to tell. I don't know that many people who know about it.
Yeah, and like I said, I've been coming here since the late '70s, and I never knew about it till you told me about it.
Okay.
Last summer.
Right.
So super cool to get you out here, and neat to hear your point of view of the history of this area, and to hear about Ambulance Hill.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks very much,
Steve.
Steve.
A lot of fun.
Good.
Hi, so this is Ken again from the foundation, and today we're interviewing my father. This is my father, Ken, another Ken. He fell last week, and so he won't be running any track and field events for a few days. So we're here.
No.
You don't think so? So we're here to talk about Ambulance Hill, but let's go back to the beginning, because a lot of people that are builders of Jeeps So my dad was a mechanic by trade. Our family had a auto repair shop, and so my dad. So your first Jeep was a 1952 CJ3A, correct?
Right.
So after he bought it, you bought it because of your friend Al?
Yeah, Al said you ought to get a Jeep, you know, and join the duck club, the Jeep club.
Right, and you joined the Redwood City four-wheel drive.
Redwood City Jeep Club.
Wow, I have no idea if they still exist or not. So by the late 1950s, so we're talking like 1957, the small block Chevy came out, which is the 283, and you didn't have to pay for your engine, correct?
Right.
Tell us what happened there.
So I knew the parts manager at the Chevrolet dealership, and I asked him if any of those motors were for sale. And he said no. He says they were supposed to be demolished, so that
Wow.
they didn't want serial numbers on them. You know.
They were just going to throw them in the trash because of some defect, correct?
Yeah. So anyway, they ended up giving me an engine, and I had the engine rebored, redid about 3 years took me to get the motor completed, and then I pulled the 4-cylinder out, dropped the four-cylinder in there, dropped the
Small block Chevy.
small block Chevy in it, and turned around and started working on it and had it ready to go on the Rubicon. And
Now we grew up in Burlingame, which is not near the Rubicon at all. It's about 30 miles, 20 miles south of San Francisco, and it's just not common for people in Burlingame to go on the Rubicon, so it's kind of unusual. Now, you put
Right.
that motor in, and then you also put an overdrive in it, correct?
yeah,
Yeah.
I did the overdrive, the whole works.
And you got the parts from your part.
Archer Brothers.
Any old timers know who Archer Brothers is. So yeah, that's neat that you got it from Archer Brothers. I actually have seen them on the Jamboree within the last 5 years. Art Archer had his Jeep there, the yellow Archer Brothers Jeep, or I think it's yellow, I believe. Anyway,
I don't know. I don't know how many Jeeps they had.
and they used to have quite a few.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you and the Redwood City 4-wheel drive club you all went to the Jeepers Jamboree, and when you got to the bottom of Ambulance Hill, what was on the left-hand side parked there?
There was a green-looking creature, an ambulance, military, and it was.
So that would have been a Dodge.
Huh?
That would have been a Dodge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was broken down, and somebody took this off of it, and took that off of it, and took this off of it, and each year more stuff was taken off of it, and pretty soon there was hardly anything left. And I don't think there was any wheels left at all. No wheels at all. And then the next thing I know, it was gone.
Wow. And we talked to Steve DeRodoff, and Steve and his family, they own the land on Wentworth Springs when you drove by the old Wentworth Springs Hotel.
Right.
And he said that he remembers it about 1966, it just disappeared. And he said, I don't know who took it. I don't know how it left. I don't know where it went, but it was just gone.
Huh.
After, like you said, years of getting picked clean for parts.
Yeah. Used it as a park truck.
That's funny. And just so you know, there's not that many people are aware of Ambulance Hill. I just found out about it about a year ago from Steve, and we interviewed him at the property. So we were actually there where it was parked. So, but yeah, you're the only other person that I know that actually saw it, because Steve couldn't remember what kind of ambulance it was. He just remembers it was there.
Yeah.
So
It was a Dodge Power Wagon.
yeah. Yeah, I believe, and by that point in time, there were only three. There was Pontiac, Cadillac made an ambulance, and Dodge made the military one. So, I'm sure there's B-roll right now going up of a Dodge Power Wagon up on the screen. Well, awesome. This is great to be able to talk to you about it and the history of the Rubicon with you going on it. And that's how I obviously got started on it. So, anyway, just remember to like and subscribe, and I don't think we're going to go four-wheeling. We usually say let's go wheeling, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
Unless you have four-wheel drive walkers.
Walkers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
I don't have any other stories to tell about it.
Well, I appreciate it anyway. So thanks, Dad, and we will see everybody later.
Yep.